To talk for a second about how AA and NA and most self-help books and talks and lectures are basically bullshit. I think it's one of the biggest things that we have that I would label as evil or wrong, to try and convince people that happiness is attained outside of themselves, that we have to search for something or grab something, obtain something from outside of ourselves in order to experience it. I believe that that's most people's natural state, maybe all people. I believe that if you imagine your soul or spirit basically like a flashlight going up through a tunnel or tube and then shining beautiful all over a dark room, that it's like a bright white shimmering glittery rainbowy beautiful fucking light, beautiful light, that's what you are at your core, at your center. And every time you have a little bit of abuse or neglect or heartbreak or a friend backstabbing you or carrying guilt for something that you've done, it's basically like taking a pile of shit and putting it down into that cylindrical tube. And the more shit that you pile in there, the more that light gets covered, until eventually you're just in a dark room. And it's so dark in there that you don't realize it's just a pile of shit on your light. It's so dark that it feels like a void or a hole. And then people are so concerned about filling that void or hole. And the more and more they try and fill it, usually what ends up happening is the more shit they start to fucking stack on. You know, more and more shit. Oh, now my void's bigger. Now I have a bigger hole. Let me try and fill this hole. I'll put more shit in this hole to try and fill it. And guess what? Your light's still not fucking shining. Guess what? Your light's buried under more shit. Guess what? You're not fucking happy. Guess what? Inner peace? No, not for you, buddy. Not for you. I believe that all that you have to do is start dropping all that shit. Everything that you're hung up on, every darkness that you carry, you need to just drop. You know, every way that you were neglected or hurt or backstabbed, every way that you hurt others, everything that's been that shit that's been thrown down into that tube. And once you start grabbing that shit and that manure off, slowly you'll see a little bit more light coming through. Because that's who you are. You're beautiful. You're a beautiful person. And your peace in your heart, and your love in your heart, and your innocence in your heart. And you deserve to be loved and respected. Mostly you deserve that from yourself. And if you dropped all that dark shit, you would have it. I think it's one of the biggest evils that we can do to other people, to act like that their core or their spirit is broken in some way. You're fucked up. You're fucked up. You need help from outside you to fucking get better. You're messed up because you don't have the Lord. You're messed up because you haven't learned how to fucking do something. No, you don't need to fucking grab a piece of information from out there and plug it into your heart, and then suddenly, whoa, fuck all that. That's just what you are. You are beautiful. You are light. You are perfect. You are wonderful. And the more we start to convince people that they're missing something and need to grab something, the more we're just guiding people away from what's really keeping them from being the beautiful, wonderful people they are. And that's dropping our shit. So how do we drop our shit? You know, I have a few ideas. Maybe we'll work on that in another video. But maybe it's a good place to start for somebody out there to just say, you know what? Maybe it is possible that I'm a happy, beautiful person inside. Maybe it is possible that my light just has shit and manure over it. Maybe instead of trying to have a Holy Spirit or trying to have a piece of information or trying to have something external of myself come in, maybe I'm just already there. Maybe I'm just already there and it's been covered up for all this fucking time. And that brings me to the one thing about AA and NA that I think is a decent thing. And that thing, I think, is the step where people admit all the resentments and wrongs. Except for, I don't think you have to admit them to another person. If you want to, it might help. But I think you have to admit them to yourself. And I think you have to take inventory of that yourself. Because looking at that shit up close is what allows you to know what you need to drop. And so maybe that's the small little piece that's in there, because it's the only piece that's really directed to internally. So fuck self-help books, fuck AA, fuck NA, and fuck carrying shit inside you. Fuck all that. Fuck all that. You're beautiful and perfect as you are. Just drop the shit. Not hung up on nothing. You know what? Your heart is fucking gold. It's gold. I know it. I can feel it. I can feel all of you. You're a fucking beautiful, beautiful gold heart. Love y'all guys. Alright, bye.